Do you think new car sales are also slow due to people who bought the 2020s to 2023 overpaid due to inventory shortage and are now upside down?
Yeah, so we're seeing the highest level of auto loan delinquencies that we've ever seen. We're seeing the highest rate of, not the highest rate, the highest amount of negative equity in the system that we've ever seen. I mean, those two things I feel like are going to go hand in hand. You see one, you're going to see the other, and you're seeing a lot of people now walk away from their cars because you see that, okay, well, one, they figure out they can't afford it, and then when they do look at what they owe on the car, it's $10,000 more than what the car is worth. So you're seeing crazy levels of repos now too, and it's going to get worse before it gets better, because we are talking about an economy where the lower end of the market is getting hit really hard, and those are the people that have these car payments right now. We just saw CarMax; they turned in a really bad quarter. Their financials don't look great right now. They're lowering their prices, and their sales are going down. But here's the thing: CarMax is the largest used car dealer in the U.S. If they're lowering their prices, that means the whole market's going down. So that means this negative equity problem is going to continue to get worse because car values are going to continually get pushed down. And just think, just it hasn't been but what, 2.5, 3 years now that people are paying $10,000 over MSRP for a lot of these vehicles. What's going to happen to a lot of these vehicles that are sitting on the market right now in people's driveways? A lot of people, they like to keep up with the Jones, and what do? Every 3 years they'll go and they'll trade in for a new vehicle. Well, I'm hearing from a lot of GMs, a lot of these sales managers now, is that they're dealing with turning away a lot of consumers because they have so much negative equity. They paid for this car 3 years ago. They paid $10,000, $15,000 over market, and now they want to come in and trade it in. And okay, the car is only worth $20,000, but they still owe 35 grand on it. So what's that dealership supposed to do? Okay, well, you're $15,000 upside down. What would you like to do about your negative equity? Well, I don't have any money, and that's why I want to trade in this car and then get a lower monthly payment. No, it's not going to happen. See, negative equity is not a rare thing. It's not a new thing in the car market. All these people that would buy cars and then trade them in every 3 years, they would always just roll their negative equity over. It would be $3,000 to $5,000. But now, when you're talking about $15,000, $20,000, dealerships can't just trade these customers out of that problem. They can't lease them. They can't lease them out of this issue. There's always been like some levers that these franchise dealers could pull to get these customers into the new car. They could put that negative equity on the back of the new car sale that they're doing. They could lease them out of these things, but they can't do it right now. So it's going to take a lot of these consumers out of the market, and then in turn, it takes those used vehicles that they were going to trade in, takes those out of the market. It adds repos into the market because of people who are going to stop paying for their cars. It hurts the delinquency rate, so that in turn hits the banks. So when the banks tighten up, which is what we're seeing a lot of right now, a lot of subprime lending going under right now, then you have more people that can't make more transactions, just because the banks are starting to tighten up on who they're actually lending to. All of this affects the used car market and the new car market in a very negative way. You take buyers out of the system, you take velocity of money out of the system, you take volume out of the system, and transactions that don't get done, then you have fewer used vehicles that are making their way to my used car dealership because they're not getting traded in, taking buyers out of the system. So these new franchise dealers, their volumes are going down. And then at the end of the day, the banks get hurt too because they're having to deal with a lot of these repos. They're going to take a lot of losses. They're going to have dealerships, just like we saw Tricolor, the 65 locations went out of business because of subprime lending problems. You're going to see more and more of this. CarMax down 50% year to date. They have a lot to do with obviously used car market, but also a lot of the subprime lending. A lot of cracks in the system right now. It's going to continue to get worse. And when things get worse, transactions don't happen. That's when I suffer a lot, is because all these trade-ins that were going to happen, that should be happening, and showing up at these used car dealer auctions, pushing my prices cheaper so I can buy more cars. I don't have infinite amounts of capital. I have a certain amount of money that I can spend to buy cars for my car dealership. If the average transaction price of what I'm buying goes up, That's fewer vehicles that I can buy. And even if it's not fewer vehicles that I buy, it's more risk that I take on just because I have to spend more money. All of this, all these delinquencies, the auto loan, all the repos, all the negative equity that's hitting the system. It's bad for every player in the market and even you as the consumer. So there's a reason why other dealers like us don't exist. Here's the thing. We sell cars that are $5,000 and under. So the number one thing is that $5,000 and under cars are very difficult to find, difficult to source. We have to go through a bunch of junk at these auctions to find cars that we can buy cheap enough to be able to sell for $5,000 and under. Number two, cars that are $5,000 and under have problems. So we have a mechanic on staff. We need to have that. We fix a lot of small issues that need to be fixed from other dealers that didn't want to deal with this stuff, send them to auction. That's a lot of the stuff that we deal with. Two, there's not a lot of money to be made in cars that are $5,000 and under. Our average per car that we make is like $1,000 to $1,200. That's what we make on our cars when we sell them. Most car dealers, they don't want to get out of bed for under $2,500 that they're making on the front end of these cars. In the car business, you hear constant stories about people getting scammed. Fake listings, shady deals, all of it. Scammers know that the holidays are busy for everyone, which makes us all easy targets for scammers. That's why Cash App builds in protection to help keep your money safe while you're checking off your shopping list. If you're about to send money to someone for a deal that's too good to be true, and Cash App flags it as a potential scam, they'll warn you before you send the money. Cash App also gives you an extra layer of protection with features like security lock. You can require a PIN, Face ID, or fingerprint to unlock your account and move money. So even if someone gets a hold of your unlocked phone at a holiday party, your money is right where you left it. Give yourself some peace of mind this holiday season and download Cash App. For a limited time, new Cash App customers can earn $10 if they use the code SECURE10. In their profile, sign up and send $5 to a friend within 14 days. Terms apply. Cash App is a financial services platform, not a bank. Banking services provided by Cash App's bank partners. Prepaid debit cards issued by Sutton Bank, member FDIC. Discounts provided by Cash App, a Block Incorporated brand. Visit cash.app/legal/podcast for full disclosures. Number two, I said number two. I think we're on number 4 at this point, but we don't make a lot of margin because, one, on the front end, we don't make a lot of money, but two, we don't make any money on the back end. We sell all our cars for cash. No, we don't take hard cash for every car. But that's just a way of saying that customer pays in full. They don't do any financing through us. We don't make any money on interest. We don't sell back end products. We don't even sell we don't even charge a doc fee. Most dealerships that are even selling cars that are in my range, they're charging a $299 doc fee. It's money that we could get, but we don't make that. So all these reasons are why dealerships like ours just don't exist, because it's very difficult to make money doing the things that we do. And when we do make money, we don't make anywhere close to what these other dealerships make. And really what we have to do is we have to make up for it in volume. Our team consists of 5 people other than my wife and myself. And so we can't move the volume of cars that we want to move with any fewer people. So we can't even bring our overhead down. We have to have 2 people in the office. So if one gets too busy, well, we got to have somebody else in there. Obviously, we have a mechanic on staff. We have we have a guy that does some light mechanic work on the side and also does a lot of the moving cars around to go get them inspected, so we can get them clean, get them posted. And then we have another driver on staff too. And I feel like we can't do what we're doing with any fewer people than that. And payroll makes up a lot of our expenses. We have to have a building. We have to have insurance. We have to have bonding. We have to have pay for power, advertising, all these things. Our monthly expenses, they go between $40,000 and $45,000 a month. So that means if you do the math, we have to sell at least 45 cars a month before we can even make any money. That's why no other car dealers do what we do, because it's too hard and it's not profitable for a lot of these dealerships. We make it work because we do a lot of volume, but we work very, very hard for not much money to be left over after the end of all of these car sales. So, so just the thing about it is, I know I hear a lot of comments and see a lot of comments saying that okay, I want to find a car dealer near me that does what you do. Yeah, there's some that are going to exist that sell the same kind of cars that we do, but it's going to be very rare to find processes to find another car dealership that does exactly what we do. It's just because it's so hard to do it, and just and at the end of the day, we're working very, very hard across the whole team. Everybody's working a lot of hours to get a lot of these cheap cars out. And when it's all said and done, there's just not really a lot of money left on the bone from selling these cars. And you're just not going to see it happen a lot in a lot of other car dealers for what we do.